And that's the story on the plastics ban and my thoughts on the plastics ban in Canada, how it will make life for Canada more expensive, how it will put more Canadians in the unemployment list, and how it will be worse for the environment. Okay, so now let us move to the United Kingdom. And we talk about the ongoing conservative leadership race taking place in the UK. The Conservative and Unionist Party will be choosing the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And if you live in Ireland and you are not a British fan, you might prefer me to say the north of Ireland. But Boris Johnson, the front runner, has been accused by the media of not showing himself or presenting himself to the media. There was a conservative debate on Channel 4 in Britain where all of the conservative leadership contenders appeared, and Boris Johnson did not. He says he will appear in the next few debates that are coming up, one that will be hosted by BBC and the other by Sky News. Now, but they did put an empty podium there. They empty podiumed him. Now, many people are saying that it's because Boris Johnson is a bit of he's known for putting his foot in his mouth and for doing stupid things and saying stupid things, and many of the conservative insiders are shielding him from the media because they are afraid that he is going to say something stupid and ruin his chances. Others are saying that Boris Johnson is actually waiting for the time in the conservative leadership election where it will be up to the people, the conservative members, to vote for the final two candidates. The way it is right now, folks, is that the members of parliament in the British Parliament who are conservative, and I believe maybe even Scottish Parliament as well. I'm not sure about that one, but I know for sure the British Westminster Parliament, who are conservative members of Parliament, they choose who they want to go into the top two, whether it will be Boris Johnson and someone else, Rory Stewart, Dominic Raab, whoever. They choose who will be the top two. And then the people choose the final two that the MPs chose. And Boris Johnson is waiting until then to really present himself to the people and all this stuff. In the meantime, what he's doing is he's talking to MPs, he's haggling with MPs, all that other secret insider politician stuff, which really makes one sick. I don't like the way they choose leaders in the Conservative Party in the UK. I think it's very insider. I think it's very establishment. The only reason Boris Johnson has a chance is because he is so popular with the people that those MPs, many of whom don't like him. In fact, most of the people don't like him. Make no mistake about it. Even the people who say they back Boris, who are MPs, they don't like him. But they know that he's so popular and the Conservative Party is so unpopular that they feel that if they don't choose him, the Conservative Party will cease to exist forever and ever and it will go the way of the progressive conservatives in Canada. So that's why they don't dare shut him out. He is talking about the things that conservatives in the UK most conservatives are advocating for. Not being afraid to advocate no deal Brexit, being serious on Brexit. He was for Brexit from the beginning, all that other stuff. Plus, he's a very populist figure, people's figure. He's been mayor of London. He had good results in London. And people like him. And people feel he can win in London and in those suburban areas because he won big when he was mayor. And they feel that if those MPs were to dare turn their backs on him and put some establishment figure in there, the Conservative Party would cease to exist. It's too unpopular to act like that. So they have to make sure that Boris Johnson is even seen to getting a fair shake. So, but that's why many are saying he's not in the debates right now. I personally think that Boris Johnson should go into the debates. And he should not have ducked the Channel 4 debate. And the reason I say that is because I do understand the method of convincing the members of parliament. But Boris needs to understand that those MPs really don't like him. And what he needs to do is to keep his popularity with the people at a certain level. Because if it drops, then what's going to happen is that the people in the establishment are going to feel safe enough to abandon Boris Johnson and to put him in the trash can, which they are wanting to do. They are looking for any excuse not to have to be fair to Boris Johnson. And Boris Johnson needs to be careful that he doesn't seem to be looking like an insider or shunning the people. That's my take on it. And I don't know who is assisting Boris or who is advising him not to go to the media or go to... I mean, even if he doesn't want to go to the media, he needs to make speeches. He needs to go meet average individuals. He should go on social media. He should probably do a social media press conference. You know, you can do these things now in the 21st century. That's what I would do. I wouldn't go to the media if I didn't feel that they would be fair to me. If I wanted a press conference, I'd go on Facebook Live and I would say, hey, everybody, ask me questions. And I would sit there, wait for the questions. People do that. You can do that. But he should not look like he's in a bunker and he's got things to hide. Because if he looks too much like he's just a good old time guy, insider, the people are going to start losing trust in him. And they're going to start losing faith in him. Keep in mind, there's another option. Nigel Farage and the Brexit Party. And even I myself have not completely set my deal with Boris. I'm only endorsing Boris Johnson to be leader of the Conservative Party and the Prime Minister. But if he messes up in any kind of way, make no mistake about it, I'm going to go against him. I'm going to go against him. I'm not just going to sit here and tolerate Boris Johnson delaying the Brexit and all this stuff, because I do know that Boris has also made mistakes. He voted for Theresa May's deal the last few times it was put to Parliament. So he himself is in hot water as well. And he has also been warned. The Express newspaper warned Boris, listen, if you mess up with Brexit, you're not going to get support. So Boris Johnson, there is no Boris mania. He is not just a shoo-in here. People aren't worshiping him. I mean, maybe some of those hardcore conservative insiders who will never listen to, and they will, no matter what, they will always be conservative. I'm an independent, first of all. I could easily support Labour if I felt that they were good enough. I would. I could support any party, and that goes for any country, Canada, America, Britain, wherever. I would advocate any party that I feel was in line with my populist, nationalistic, third way values. I'm not on the left or the right. Arana Nation is not on the left or the right. Arana Nation is third way. We believe there is a third option. We will take ideas from the left, and we will take ideas from the right, and we will mix them together, and we will think, and we will come up with a solution that is fair, that is sensible, that is of superior logic. That is what Arana Nation is. Now, Arana Nation's views, many of them are, for the most part, on the right. You're not going to see Arana Nation out there with Antifa blocking highway. I would block highways if I felt that it would, like the Yellow Vests in France have blocked highways, but they've blocked highways for things that make sense. I'm not going to block highways because Trump won an election. You won't see Arana Nation doing things like that. But there are things that I support that are on the left and the right. So Boris is not just going to is not entitled to my support. Nobody is entitled to my support. And nobody is entitled to the vast majority of individual support in these days. Only a very small select group of idiots are for one party no matter what or the other. And I call them idiots because that is an idiotic approach to take, because that means that you are easily manipulated and you can easily be cowed down and tied up and compromised. Boris Johnson needs to make sure that his support with the right in Britain and with the center as well, independents as well, but with the Brexit majority working, that his group is lock, stock, and then he can go for the center and all that stuff. But he has to make sure that he has his base secure. He has to make sure that he doesn't lose support. And he needs to do that by continuing to advocate the things that the majority of people, especially in the Conservative Party, are standing for. He's lucky right now there's no general election. He only has to focus on conservatives right now. And when I say conservatives, I don't just mean of the Conservative Party. I also mean he can try and grab people from Brexit Party and UKIP and all those other people. But if he is hiding and he's not saying anything, he is allowing the media and his opponents to make up to say things about him himself. And that's never a good idea. That's never a good position to take. You can never hide, because then you will be defined by other people. And you will lose support after that. You will lose support. And he cannot afford to lose support, because the British right knows that they have more than one option. This isn't Canada here. This isn't America. Okay? This is the UK. They have more than one option. They have all sorts of options they can choose from. If Nigel Farage messes up, they've got other options. UKIP is out there. I mean, UKIP has gone stupid ever since Farage left. But they have other options. Please, give me a break. Don't mess with the people in Britain. They have all sorts of options that they can choose from, on the left and on the right. So that is my advice to Boris Johnson. And he would be wise to take my advice, because I have his best interests at heart. Those people, those members of parliament and all those things, don't necessarily have his interests at heart. They don't like him. They're looking for any excuse to get rid of him. And that good excuse will come when he starts losing support. This is the Arana Nation.